I'm Winston Hodges. I'm a stand-up comedian. I have been doing stand-up comedy for 6.5 years. The first set I ever had was at the Richmond Funny Bone in Richmond, Virginia, and they have like the Funny Bone chain has like these monthly contests at some of the clubs where it's like called Clash the Comics. I performed there and I won, and I was like, oh cool, this is what I do now. I am a full-time comedian now, but I was a teacher for 4 years, and I quit that last September. Like September 3rd, 2020 was my last day. So I've been full-time doing stand-up for about a year. Comedy is going, I think, as well as it could be. I'm able to pay my bills. I'm not saving a lot of money, but I am not losing a ton of money either. It was like a scary leap to make, but it was like one that I felt like I needed to make in order to really, make this dream come true. I had some savings, and I was like, I'm gonna ride this savings thing out until I hopefully get to a point where if I have to get another job, I get it, or hopefully stuff will open up, and through a mixture of, like, I was doing a ton of virtual shows, so like through a mixture of virtual corporate shows and doing in-person shows, and I was losing money for like the first 6 or 8 months, and then finally got to the point where I was like, oh, I'm paying my rent and paying my bills, and I have insurance, and I can pay my car note. And so my album that's coming out next week, called Already Aware, the stuff that I have done the previous 6.5 years that wasn't on the other special, and pared it down to 67, 70 minutes or whatever of like stuff that I want to do, and I just went down there, and now I have an album coming out, which feels pretty cool. I think what I want to accomplish by the album coming out is, it's like, the big thing is like it's a form of passive income, because if you get tracks from your album selected to be on Sirius XM radio, you make money every time they play the track. I also have like a legitimate credit, because it can be like Winston Hodges is heard on Sirius XM radio, and to me, I'm hoping that that's just kind of the first step to just kind of get into more clubs, or to work more one-nighter headlining gigs and stuff, because they'd be like, oh, this guy does have a credit. And also, it's just nice to have an album to tell people, like, hey, if you like what I'm working on now, check out this other stuff. Literally, like, I've never understood it before. This is the worst track I've ever been in my fucking life.
Winston, how are you feeling?
Great. We're late. Ready to do the show already. To go as soon as they get out of the car. If you're doing like 10 as the host, we'll definitely be there by 8:25. Comedy's my full-time job. I'm trying to make this thing work. I've got an email list you can sign up for. Literally, the only time I will ever email you is when I'm back in your neighborhood doing a show. If you feel like this is something you want to check out again, so all I want is your name and your email. It's time to fucking go home. Like what eventually is the dream. It's so weird, because it's like when I started, what I'm doing right now would have been the dream. Now I think my dreams are broken up into like the realistic one, where like I think I could be really content and happy with my life, and then like the big grand one. And the big grand one is like, it would be great to be one of those comics that has a Netflix special and some late night sets and is selling out rooms all over the country headlining. I think the most exciting part is the serious thing, and also just like, I don't know, like if it's good, it's kind of cool to be like, yeah, I have a good album. Or like if someone likes me and they're just like, I don't know, I think it's cool to like, if someone likes me after this album comes out, it's like I have an independent album I released at my 2-year mark, which is not very good. Like, to me, it's not very good. But then I had the special about my dad, and then I would have this. So it's like, if you really like me, there's like 3 hours of things you can check out and still be like, oh, this is like cool. He's like, you can see the growth in my body of work, is what I think would be like really, really cool.